All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started, and then as people join us, they join us. So we should have 8 of us this semester, 8 of you guys. So we have Bella and Tessa, you're from up in Maine, where it's nice and chilly. What's the temperature right now there?
It's freezing rain right now and very icy and very, very cold. I don't know what the temperature is, but it's cold.
That does not sound pleasant.
No.
Georgia, what's it like in New York City?
It's actually been pretty warm, but it's been very cold usually. Today it's rainy and warm. It's like 50 degrees right now, but usually it's in the 20s or 30s.
Yeah, you're getting the rainy stuff that we had the other day. Move in your direction. Yeah, it's not so bad here, but I'm hopping on a plane to California tomorrow, so that'll be nice. Nice little change of scenery. All right, so any questions before we kind of get into things about course policies? You guys were supposed to look over that. We are going to be meeting live on Tuesdays at this time. So if that just doesn't seem to be able to work with your schedule one week, just you need to email me in advance, and then you'll watch the live session. And I post those. I don't know if you guys saw it. Hold on, let me share my screen. That's what I want. Share it. On the left-hand side of our page, if it comes down at the bottom, you'll notice that we have a page here for live meetings. So you'll just click on that, and that's where I'll put all our weekly videos for you. So if you aren't able to make it, you just watch the video, take some notes, and then email those to me by Sunday night. But if you have any questions before then, you can definitely email me or text me. You guys have my number also. Just please don't email me or text me at 3:30 in the morning. I don't like that. All right, so no questions on that. One of the things that they did want me to make sure that you guys knew, how many of you have taken an online course before with us?
I have.
You have. Okay, so you know that when you first log in, it kind of looks like this. We've had some students in the past that kind of go off this calendar right here, which doesn't always give you the full picture of what we're doing that week. So just making sure that you are clicking into your class so that you see your, for instance, with our class, I always do a to-do list that you can kind of use as a checklist. So that kind of helps you out. All right. Okay, so let's see here. What other housekeeping things? Talked about live sessions. Have you guys signed up for your presentations yet?
Yeah.
Okay, so Georgia, did you emailed me? I just emailed you back. That sounds like a great topic. I haven't had one on that.
Okay.
Yet, so will be interesting to hear. If you happen to decide that you want to change that before we get to your scheduled presentation, that's perfectly fine, but I just kind of like you to start thinking about things so that it doesn't pop up on you, because it is going to be here before you know it. The last semester always goes a little faster. Let's see. Georgia, are you a senior?
Yes.
Okay, so you're a senior. Bella, you're a senior. Tessa, you're a sophomore. Senior, you're a senior also? How did I
Yes.
see you're a sophomore? I might have put that down wrong. Or maybe I just read it wrong. All right, so you're all in your last semester. Has senioritis kicked in yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. Well, this is a good class to take the last semester just because it is very much discussion based, and you guys kind of make it what you make it. So far, I've noticed that the discussions have been pretty strong. Georgia, you just kind of got a chance to read up on things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, we kind of always have a discussion post every week, usually like articles, maybe a video clip. There are some TED Talks this week, just kind of things that pop up that are kind of hot topics. A lot of you mentioned in your videos that you wanted to kind of learn, you know, the things that are coming at healthcare these days, but it's always changing, which is kind of the cool thing about this course also, is that we can, you know, if something pops up during the week, we can talk about that, you know, or we talk about it the next week. The one thing I noticed with that thing that I had you guys read, they came up with 12 things that are facing healthcare. And in the past, it's only been 10. So it's like, it's getting, like the list is getting longer. Some things have spilled over from previous years. Two things that I saw that were kind of definitely not new topics, but they are new to that list, was the opioid crisis, which we are going to talk about in a few weeks. And then the other one was with the natural disasters, which I thought was kind of an interesting one to add, which we definitely saw this year. I know last semester when we had this course, we got off to a rough start because we only had 5 students, and I think 4 of them were in Miami area, so we couldn't really meet the first few weeks. So that was kind of an interesting start to the semester. So I thought that was an interesting topic to add to something that's facing healthcare. One, just because, you know, like Puerto Rico just got electricity back in some areas still don't have it, but also the manufacturing, because we've seen some shortages in the bags that they use in the hospitals and things like that. So just some things that I noticed. Also during live sessions, we are going to be sharing a current event. It can be anything from a new cancer treatment to just like a little blip in the news. For instance, last night I saw on the news they were talking about the flu epidemic. Georgia, you're very familiar with that right now. But they were talking about how with Tamiflu, you know, they're having a shortage in that just because of all the flu cases, but also they're, you know, doing it as a preventative measure. So for instance, Georgia, they would give it to you, but they would also give it to anyone in your family that you're in contact with. Just so I thought that was interesting. And they also said that the masks, those lovely masks that nobody wants to wear, people are actually wearing them now, and so they can't keep them in stock, which I thought was funny. So plus with me getting on a plane tomorrow, I just feel like I might need to go out and buy one. So that was, you know, that was kind of my current event that I thought of. Did you guys come up with any current events to bring any this evening?
I did.
Tessa, what do you have for us?
I said that the government came back like from their shutdown, and so they're back for the short-term 3-week extension, and in that time they have to make a plan for DACA, return like the government funding for like the fiscal year, and sorry, I took notes on it. I'm reading it. They have to do the disaster preparation budget.
Okay.
And then there's a bunch of other stuff they have to do that it didn't really talk about in the article I read. And then also the House and the Senate during the 3 weeks are only going to be together in Washington for 6 days.
That's not a lot of time to get work done. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. Girls, do you have anything for me?
I don't know where the actual article is, but I read somewhere that kids are dying from the flu this year that's going around, and it's because basically it's the healthy kids, the flu virus is sort of morphing into a stronger version of itself or something, and it's causing their organs to shut down. It's really scary. But anyway, that's something that I read today.
Yeah, there's a rise in the deaths with flu, which you never really think about it.
No.
You just think, oh, I have the flu, you know, but it's, you know, I'm very much aware of it more this time, I feel like. And I was at school today and 2 teachers came with the flu and had to be sent home, and then I had a meeting and a parent came in and he had the flu, and so I just felt like I was in this little petri dish of
half my teachers have been out this whole week so far. Our whole school has it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ugh. And I got the shot too.
I did too, yeah. So I'm hoping that I'm
getting a mild case apparently.
Yeah.
But lots of fever.
Yeah. Bella, what do you have for us?
I forget what it stands for, but it spells out CHIP. It's like the child healthcare, the national system, was like really badly affected by the shutdown, like all the funding, and they have to get up and running and the new system in place before February 1st, or 1.7 million kids are going to lose their health care.
Yeah, that's scary.
Out to dry.
Yeah. Well, and that was one of the things I saw in some of your posts, was just making sure healthcare's, there for every kid and every other citizen, but especially the kids. You think of, like, it came up last semester that one of the presentations was right to healthcare, and you're able to talking about, well, if you're on welfare, like there's that debate that, if you can't work but you're still getting these benefits. And so we're kind of having that debate, but when you think about the kids and what they need, and then you think of the affordable care and prescriptions. And my experience with that is my nephew had a tumor that he had to have removed, and it affected his hormones. And so it put him in pre-puberty, I guess is what they called it. And so he has to get injections every 6 months. Well, the injections cost $20,000 a piece if you don't have insurance. And luckily, my sister and brother-in-law have really good insurance, that they end up only having to pay their copay for it. And the skewed, aspect of that of, well, if you don't have insurance, you're paying $20,000, but you can't afford that. And so it's hard to, and that's kind of what we're coming up against in this class. With a lot of things have that ethical and religious comes into it sometimes. And so healthcare is a funny thing. It's definitely got a lot of gray area that is definitely good for debating. So we're going to be doing a lot of that in this class. So it's interesting. So I hope you guys enjoy that part of it. So some other things. So you got on the VoiceThread. Have you posted it all yet? Georgia, do you have the book yet?
I ordered it as soon as I found out I was in this class. So
okay,
it's
perfect.
Supposed to arrive tomorrow.
Okay, good. I know you're a little bit behind, so if you need me to open up any discussions, I can do that for you. So I'll go in after we meet tonight and do that, just so you can get in there and get an idea as to how that works. Let's see, what else was I wanting to make sure I told you guys? Your observations and interviews. You should be thinking about some places that you can go observe. I know sometimes you can get into the issue of privacy and HIPAA and everything. So just when you're meeting with your healthcare person, preferably if you can at least get an audio recording. And just, sometimes they're a little leery of it just because they might be talking about patients. But if you can at least get some information from them and record on, kind of their backgrounds, more kind of advice to you, that would be great. Just so I kind of know who this person is, where they're coming from, kind of hear their thoughts. Because when you guys transcribe it or are writing about it, I don't necessarily maybe hear their tone sometimes when they're talking about it, things like that. So just try to, if they kind of push back on you, just try and push back a little bit too, but still be respectful. So if it definitely is not going to work out, just let me know and we can work around it. All right. Let's see, spring break. That's kind of a big thing because that kind of messes with our schedule for the semester. So we will be following Barstow's spring break. So I'm going to put together a calendar for kind of that time frame of when your guys' spring breaks are, because I forget which school it is, but one of you goes on spring break very early, and then one of them is really late, and so we kind of have to work around that. So we will definitely be off the weeks for Barstows, but then when you guys are off and when you're back, we'll just you get your stuff done when you can get your stuff done. All right. So we'll just work around that. Let's see what else. I think that's kind of it for housekeeping stuff. For this coming week, I'm wondering where all my other people are tonight, but for this coming week, we're going to kind of continue the look at what's healthcare is going to be up against in the future. So you're going to watch 2 TED Talks if you haven't read them or watched them already. You have some questions to answer. And then next week, we're going to get into kind of the ethics. And I know, I think it was Cassidy might have mentioned that she's going to go into nursing. So we're going to look at nurses, kind of what their oath that they take, and then kind of what they're up against and what other healthcare officials would be up against when it comes to ethics. And that kind of plays into our Henrietta Lacks, kind of the ethics behind that as well. So that's kind of how we tie those two together. So that's next week. And then we will get into sports injuries and look at concussions, which kind of lines up with the Super Bowl. So that kind of works out perfectly. And then we're going to talk about genetic testing and engineering. And then we're going to talk about the opioid crisis, and that's kind of a big topic. And then we would get into your student presentations. So after that, it'll be the end of the semester, and you guys will graduate, and that'll be that. So it'll be done before you know it. It's crazy. Do you guys all know where you're going yet next year?
Nope.
Yeah, no? Georgia, you're still looking. Where are you looking?
Secret right now.
But
far away, though. Far away from New York.
All right. Tessa, where are you going?
I'm going to High Point University in North Carolina.
A little bit warmer?
Yeah.
Are you? How did you choose High Point?
I was looking mostly in the South because a lot of the schools I looked at had good biology programs, and then I'm not going into biology anymore. I'm going into political science, but everybody recommended High Point to me, not for their majors, but just because it's a really inclusive, welcoming community, and that sounded really nice to me. And then I visited and I loved it.
Very cool. Bella, where are you going?
Wentworth Institute of Technology in Boston.
All right. Not too much warmer, but.
No, I like the snow. I couldn't leave the snow.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny. I like snow for a little bit. I went skiing over Christmas, but then it was nice to get back and a little bit warmer, see some sunshine, and, so I'll enjoy California where it's a little warmer. Not much warmer, I noticed, but it's a little bit warmer, so I'll take it. All right. Well, that's kind of all I have for you tonight. I just wanted to kind of go over some nuts and bolts and just kind of get some dialogue going. Hopefully next week we'll have some more people joining us. I know a couple do have to work sometimes, so happy here. But like I said, just if you have to miss, just let me know in advance, all right? And then just watch your due dates because, if you've noticed, you do have due dates along the way during the week. And so if you miss any of them, you do get counted off late 50%, so you don't want to be adding those up too much. They'll add up quickly before you know it. All right. If you do happen, I know last semester it can get a little crazy with things going on. If you feel like you're maybe going to get behind, just, communication is always the best thing in these courses. So letting me know in advance, and we can kind of work things out if we need to maybe give you an extension on something. All right. Yes? You guys are so quiet tonight. All right. Well, if you don't have anything else for me, I'm going to let you guys go for tonight. If you have any questions during the week on any of your assignments, just send me an email, all right? All right. Then I will talk to you girls later. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.